All right, here we go. This is episode 4 of Daddy Dishes. Now, my girl Jazz, she wrote in and she wanted to know what the difference between broth and stock were. Okay, so today I'm making a chicken broth. What you've seen me make is a chicken stock, okay? Chicken stock is actually made of just bones. And so sometimes when you go to the butcher and they give you a bag of bones, there's a bit of meat on the bones, sometimes a little bit of skin. But usually when you get the bones, that's what it is. And so to make a chicken stock, that is what you're going to use, okay? I want to make a broth because I'm making matzo ball soup. So when you're making a soup like matzo ball soup, you need a nice, heavy, thick, rich, creamy almost broth. It really is the star of the show. The cut veg that go with matzo ball and the matzo balls are the accoutrement. Yes, that's my French, baby. So today, I've already gone and done it because you don't need to see me cook it, right? What I've gone and done is I got a whole chicken, and you don't have to do this yourself. I cut that whole chicken in half. When you go to your butcher, you can ask them to cut it for you, and they will. No problem. If they don't ever shop there again, okay, girl? And so what I did, you can see here, I got 2 pots on the stove, and I put a half chicken in each pot, okay? I put a half chicken, I put 3 small carrots, and I put 2 stalks of celery, and I put the half chicken and a tablespoon of salt. I filled it up with water, and you can see it's already come to a boil. And so now it's on a low simmer. This one's just about to come to a boil, okay? And then the way I do it is it's a simmer for about 3 to 4 hours. If I'm home, and I'm of course gonna be home because we're all in isolation, girl, okay? Then you let it rip for as long as you can. The longer you leave it, the more golden that color is gonna be, and the more fortified all the nutrients and flavor. I gotta tell you that one of the things I love about soup and stock is that no matter what kind of budget you're on, you could always make a healthy, nutritious meal, okay? All I have to do with this stock, this broth, is once it's done, after I pull out the chicken, you get rid of these vegetables. So these are just the flavoring agents, okay? That's called the mirepoix. And they're going to be limp. They're going to be overused and tired from boiling with this half chicken. And so you're going to get rid of those. And then you can see the scum. The scum is the impurities in the blood. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to scrape that off. You're going to get rid of it. It doesn't taste very good. It leaves a funny taste on your mouth. And then you're going to take the chicken out. You're going to put it on a plate, okay? You'll get to the chicken later. And then you're going to pour it into mason jars or some other, I always say glass. I don't like when hot things go into plastic. You're going to put it in glass, and you're going to let the temperature drop outside the fridge. If you put the hot liquid inside the fridge, you're going to bring the temperature of the fridge down. And girlfriend, you do not want to do this. Okay? Jazz, baby, this is for you. This is all about you, stock versus broth. So then when I get to the chicken, I'm going to pull the skin off. I don't need that. I'm going to keep all the meat off that bone, and guess what? Because I'm a cheap mofo, I am going to boil those chicken bones again and make like a small little stock out of those. Just because I want a lot of bang for my buck, honey. Okay, so you can see this one, it's got a boil. I'm just going to reduce it down to a simmer. This one can go up a little bit higher. All right, and so those are going to sit on the back of that stove for 3 to 4 hours. Just make sure you stay home and you don't leave the house. So as I was saying before, one of the reasons I really love making stock and soups, it's one of my favorite meals, is because when I lived on the street and I got my first housing, I was on welfare, and it's even worse now, but like after you paid your rent, girl, you had no money left over for no groceries. So I always made sure I had, for some reason, I picked turkey bones. I mean, they must have been cheaper for me to get. And I had turkey and rice soup on the back of the stove 24/7. I lived off it day in and day out. It's nutritious, it's healthy, it's good for you, it's comforting. You can add whatever to it. Even if you don't have a lot of stuff, you can kind of put anything into it and it feeds you, right? That and a piece of bread, boom, good to go, baby. So that's why I love talking soup and I love talking stock and broth. So once these are done, I think it turned it down too low. Girl. Anyway, so like I said, you can go onto Google. You can find 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different recipes. This Baba says this Bobby says that. You can do whatever you want, okay? Try several recipes until you find the one that makes you happy. No problem, baby, okay? So, and then once you pull this out, once it's sat overnight in the fridge, you're going to find two things. You're going to find a really big, thick cap of fat on top of it. Tomorrow, I'm going to scrape that off and I'm going to use that. That's the schmaltz in my matzo balls, okay? Because you need fat in that. So I'm going to save that because it's full of flavor, so good. And then when you shake the mason jar, it should be like jelly, okay? Should be like blah, 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 blah. That means you've made an awesome, awesome broth, okay? Should be golden in color. You should have taken off all those impurities. And that is liquid gold, people. Jazz, I hope I answered your question. I hope I've inspired you to go and make some broth or make some stock or do both. I hope you're staying well during this isolation. And happy cooking.